Hey, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 124th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week, we're getting down, guys. We are talking about why people drive crazy. You know who these people are. You might be one of these people. Let's have a conversation about it. But before we dive deep into the subject, it's time for your favorite moment of the day, which is my monologue.
Oh, joy.
Bravo. Yes, let's do this. So first and foremost, if you are a fan of Podbean and you've downloaded the Podbean app so that you can join the WokeNFree conversation every Wednesday for WokeNFree Wednesday, yay! That is awesome. That is the only way that you'll be able to add comments and actually join the conversation. So if you have not already downloaded the Podbean app, please do so right now and join the conversation. Of course, if you're like, Tasha, I'm not doing that. I'm catching y'all a different way. Then yes, for our iTunes, for our TuneIn, for our Stitcher, for our Google Play, for our YouTube, for our SoundCloud, for our iHeartRadio, for our Spotify family, thank you for joining the conversation every week on these platforms and many more platforms that we're on. But all that we ask is we just want to make sure that you are subscribed and followed to the show on whatever platform you're catching. So if you're like, well, where the heck are you guys? Go to WokeNFree.com, click on the listen tab so that you can see all the different platforms that we're on. And that way you can peruse and you can listen to us on iTunes this week. Maybe hit us up on iHeartRadio next week. Maybe drop in with Spotify the following week. Yeah. You have the playground of podcasting. Guys, have at it. Have fun. Next, we want you, as WokeNFree Nation, to be a part of spreading the message as far and as wide as possible. So please make sure that even a simple share on Facebook, just to share the episode out, share your thoughts on what we said. If you thought this episode was out of we were crazy funny, crazy silly, whatever, just share, guys. Share this out with your friends, your families, your coworkers, with strangers. Get it out, WokeNFree Nation. When it comes to social media, you can easily find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even YouTube or Pinterest at WokeNFree. So make sure that you're connecting with us there. If you want to share breaking news, if you just want to say hello, if you have ideas, that's a really good platform to reach us at. And then, of course, if you have 2 minutes, 2 minutos, por favor, you can share a review of the show. So,
excelente.
Sí, señor. This would be mucho bueno, and we would greatly appreciate the support. 5 stars, please. And that's my subliminal messaging to you. And you can definitely rate the show 5 stars on iTunes or any of the platforms that you're catching us on. So again, WokeNFree.com, go to the listen tab, and then that's where you can peruse to not only listen to the show on our different platforms, but that's also where you can pick your platform to give us a different review at.
And I just have to mention, subliminal messaging does not work.
5 stars.
So
it does.
Don't worry about it.
5 stars.
Listeners, it's okay.
5 stars.
Each week, we like to share a little bit about us before we dive into the topic for the episode. This week, we're asking, would you rather have a plant or a goldfish that talks to you?
Really? This is a race to the bottom, huh? Terrible.
It's very interesting when you think about it. You like those different organisms. You do. You like fish. You used to have pet fish, and you had plant too.
I've had plants. I've had both as pets. Yes.
See?
New York City's living is rough that way. It's not an actual proper pet. Neither choice.
Some people have tigers in the city. So,
now we're talking. Now we're getting frisky. This is good stuff. We're feeling froggy about it.
It happens.
It does happen. Alrighty. So to answer the question, probably a plant, because somehow a goldfish speaking to me seems a bit too weird and freaky, and it's like Nemo in a wrong way. Like it just seems wrong. Right. Wow. So I think a plant, and then also I think of like what was it? The Shop of the Little Horror. What's that famous movie?
I've never seen it.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. So that just makes sense because that big plant spoke in that movie, and I really love that movie.
Oh, see,
and I thought it was fun.
know.
Oh, man, yeah, you got to see it. That's like a classic 80s film or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Amazing. So plant is my choice. Yours?
All right. Well, my answer is actually the same as yours, but it's for a different reason. It's because the plant, you can actually take it with you many places. Like, you could sneak it into the movie theater, and it can tell you, like, hints to how the movie's going to go. If it's a good movie or a bad movie.
Smart.
It tells you what ticket to buy.
Smart. That's,
the plant you could take anywhere. The goldfish, you need the bowl. It's a lot harder.
That's too funny. Well, now that we've totally bored our audience, are you ready to start the conversation?
All right, we gave them a tidbit into our, inner thinking workings of our mind, so now we'll go into the topic. Mm-hmm. Why do people drive crazy?
Well, it's good that you started the conversation because you know why. Well, I think it comes down to a couple of things. First, the driving test doesn't really teach you how to drive on the actual road. So there's most people are really learning the real mechanics and logistics of driving essentially by baptism by fire. And that's not the best way to baptize someone, right?
Oh, really?
People pick up terrible driving habits. They drive in a reactionary form, which again is not the best way to... You
shouldn't be emotional.
Well, there you go. That's like saying, hey, cut out a part of your brain then, because people they barely can eat without emotion, right? Much less drive a vehicle. So there's a lot of emotions. Also, people are selfish AF. Y'all know what it is. It's 2020. Sadly, they want to do what they want to do when they want to do it. So if it means driving and cutting across the road without signaling, that's what they're going to do because that's the life that they live. Hey, also, there isn't really a consequence for driving bad, right? There's a consequence for driving under the influence. There's a consequence for driving, maybe even erratically or in a...
Well, if you're breaking the law, then you can get in trouble.
Just poor driving, where you're maybe making mistakes or maybe doing illegal things, but it's not excessive or egregious in nature, you're not going to really be stopped by that, right? So that's a problem because people unfortunately are incentivized and de-incentivized with things. So if you're not going to be punished, then that means that people are going to go willy-nilly with it. Also, there's no incentive to really drive better. It's not like if you drove better today, you now get $5 in your bank account, right? There's no real incentive. And unfortunately, people, they need things to do things. They're not just going to be look at God and then just do well in life, right? They're like, what's the real reason?
They're going to look at Natasha instead.
Indeed. And then also I think that people are just concerned with accidents and not necessarily driving well. I think the standard of what is a good driver is very different for everyone. So
that's true.
If you're not getting into accidents, then I think that's a win, even though that's, again, why are we racing to the bottom? That shouldn't necessarily
doesn't mean that's a good driver.
Just because you haven't gotten into an accident doesn't make you a good driver. It just means you aren't a driver that's gotten into an accident. That's all that means, that you're not necessarily a huge liability, but you're also not necessarily killing the game, guys. So those are a couple of things that I saw. And then also there was this article on cracked.com. Yes, that's real. And we're going to go through it. I mean, it may not be, but I thought it gave me a tickle, so I wanted to talk about it.
Interesting.
They have the Dunning-Kruger effect. This one is not only a cause for bad driving everywhere, but it's also about half of the bad stuff that happens in the world. Thus, cracked.com. That's hilarious. Have you ever known anyone who thought they were awesome at everything or something when in reality they sucked very badly, even when all their friends told them they sucked and their mother told them they sucked?
Wow.
You got the guy at the office who still insists he could play in the NFL, the shrieking girl on karaoke night who was sure she could sing professionally if she chose to. It's possible that these poor souls are living in the shadow of the Dunning-Kruger effect. Cornell psychologists Justin Kruger and David Dunning describe this phenomenon as someone being unskilled and unaware, meaning they have a specific
I love that.
short circuit in their brains that makes them suck at figuring out that they suck.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Once you're aware of this phenomenon, you'll see it 5 times a day in your everyday life, and perhaps nowhere is this more dramatically demonstrated than on our roadway. So,
well, yeah, I mean,
I thought that was a really fun tickle. That whole thing could be completely false because, again, it's cracked.com, so that might be a total
so the
joke.
Dunning-Kruger might just be a joke then,
I'm
right?
not, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it might just be fake news.
Research
This could have been fake news.
It could be fake news.
But I like that unskilled and unaware.
Really, yeah, I thought that was
that's a
like
true thing.
shade for the day that was truly enjoyable.
You're unskilled and you're unaware.
Yeah, like you're just, like literally, are you a simpleton? Like kind of a situation happening.
I think that's
right
worse,
now.
though. I mean,
it is really worse because you're like you're
purporting to be something you're not
at something,
and you don't realize.
You don't even realize it. So it's really wild.
That's a little bit. That's going above and beyond. It's actually dangerous
if you think about that, right? Like if it's someone who's like, I can shoot guns really well, and then they go into like a duel with someone.
Or if you go hunting with them, even
and you're like,
let's go hunting, and you're like, I'm a great hunter, and actually not. You just shoot anything you see,
or you shoot your partner, right?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's what you gotta be careful.
Sounds very dangerous.
You gotta be careful with unskilled and unaware.
I don't know if I know too many people like that, actually, but the idea, I feel like that in high school I knew that, or
You've worked with a lot of people like that.
Really?
I can't give any more clues.
I know.
But there's people you've worked with that definitely have done that. And I've worked with people like that too as well, actually, when I think
like
about it. Because it's got to like
in high school, not necessarily.
It's the people who think that they're so important that...
Oh, well, now I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, there's people like that where it's like, yeah, I gotta, I'm here for a reason, so, don't try to say anything to me.
Yeah,
like, they'll look at you like they're crazy, like you're crazy. And you're like, wait, when's the last time you actually got anything done? See, it's that type of thing.
Snap.
And everybody knows somebody like that at their job where it's where they say that, yeah, they do a lot of stuff. And then you actually think about what they do and it's like, wait, what are they actually doing? That kind of thing. That's a similar, I think that's a similar instance.
I guess, yeah, if you've worked at jobs, you most likely have experienced
because there's people that have
phenomenon.
credentials and we don't even know how they got these credentials. There's that too.
Life is funny.
That's amazing.
That was a lot of information. I would love to hear. Now, why do you think people drive crazy?
Well, I mean, I think it only comes down to two things.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the biggest one is the emotional effect because I think that you shouldn't drive with your heart. You can't drive and say, all right, I'm going to get this person back or that person should have let me in. So now I'm feeling upset or I had a bad day at work. So I gotta really just, tough it out on the roads. You can't let any of your emotions show while you're driving. You need to just say, I'm driving, like, what's your purpose of driving? To get to point A to point B. And usually in an efficient manner. I mean, some people, I don't think everybody has the same reasonings of why they're driving. So that's another thing.
That's true.
It's like, I'm driving because I just want to relax. I need time to vent. And if you're venting while driving, to me, that's emotional driving and it can be kind of terrible for other people.
Sure.
You can take out your emotions while driving. And I think the other one is people don't pay attention. They just, they're driving, but they're doing something else. They might be playing on their phone because they're so bored of driving. Traffic is crazy. So
that's crazy.
People don't want to pay attention to the road. So that's a big reason, things like that. And also, you could be eating, doing makeup, little things like that. I think that's a big issue for why people are driving. No, I'm not looking at you. I'm just saying in general, though. If you look at most of the worst drivers, there's some sort of not paying attention or some emotions at play. It's either or, I think. I think you can categorize it into that.
Remember, people have attention deficit disorder. So, yeah, people actually struggle with, like, paying attention to something for a very long, like, for a consistent period of time. So,
if you do it enough.
Other things at play there. But, yeah,
you do it too much and you're just bored of it. So, you're like, I don't have to pay too much attention.
It becomes robotic in nature, and you fail to actually really pay attention, and you're just like moving in the motions, which is dangerous because you still gotta focus things. I was just driving the other day, and out of nowhere, big old adorable pooch runs across the street, and if I wasn't paying attention, I would have hit him. Like real close encounters here.
Oh, and this is just a random thing, but they just in this Netflix movie, 6 Underground. They had a driving scene and the person's like drifting around this statue or something. They're drifting around it, but they're trying to avoid like people. They're trying to avoid dogs, a baby. Oh, no. But it's just like that type of thing where yeah, if you're not paying attention, you can like hit these little objects that are on the road.
Crazy.
That just made me think of that though. I was just watching that. I didn't finish the movie, but
that's
just
not the
like
first
that.
time. I've definitely driven and had to avoid cats, had to avoid other dogs. So
yeah,
it's important. You gotta care for what's going around.
Hey there. Do you have a book that you want to share with the WokeNFree Nation? Are you a business owner looking to share your product or service with the podcasting world? Well, guess what? You can book an ad with us on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. We're super excited to speak with you about curating a unique ad that will get your message across the WokeNFree platform. So go to the Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That is WokenFree.com, because WokeNFree is more than a podcast. It's a way of life and offers an innovative way to promote your platform in the exploding podcasting space.
Now, how could we make like driving safer and more enjoyable?
I mean, this question is so easy.
Simple.
This is so easy to me. It's so simple. It's so futuristic. It's not here right now, but give it 10 years.
Fully, yeah.
No, I would say it's not here at all, to be honest. Because I would call that something different. But my whole thing is let the robots drive. Let AI take control. Because, come on, there's nothing that humans can... You can give them all the sensors, all these safety things. But at the end of the day, you need to just take out the human
the common
error.
Denominator.
There's the human factor. And that's, terrible. Because we think we're so great at noticing things. Because we never get distracted.
Oh, it's that Kruger-Dunning.
Yeah, we're so perfect.
We're so great.
Yeah,
we do everything.
People say
so
they're
great.
I don't understand how they don't trust AI over. I mean, I understand they're failure rates, but hey, humans are failing every freaking minute though at driving.
Every freaking day. One thing I love Arizona,
it's
but the
crazy.
people who drive here are crazy. Never saw a 7-car pileup until I moved to this state. People drive crazy.
Yeah, sometimes you see a needless accident.
Crazy.
People will just continue to drive as they see the person that's there. They won't press the brakes. You know, I see the car coming. I'm just going to still press the gas. No, you probably need to press the brake. But they won't even be in motion yet. It's all right, so somebody will be turning and another person will go straight and they'll say, oh, that person's turning, but I'm just going to drive into them. It's stuff like that. It's why are you moving? Just stop. That person, maybe they turned out and they shouldn't have, but just stop. Did you not see the car in front of you? You didn't have to hit them.
Other thing is they drive too closely. So that's how
they do that too,
5
though.
and 8
I understand
car
those
pileup,
ones, yeah.
Because if the person stops suddenly and you did not physically give enough space, you're gonna crash into them. It's what is that, physics? I mean, it's logic, but
there's a delayed reaction from when you press the brake to when the car is going to actually start slowing down. And then there's another delay in how fast can that car slow down. We're not all driving Lamborghinis and Porsches, so you're not going to stop on a dime. But that's the thing. Because that's the other thing. We're driving cars that can't even react as fast as certain cars. Because if you're driving behind a Porsche and someone's driving a big, like a Ford F-250 kind of truck, and they slam on the brakes, they're going to hit the Porsche. The Porsche could stop a lot faster. So there is physics when you get into that. That definitely does happen where a truck can't stop fast enough. It's definitely an issue.
I mean, for me, I think ultimately, you're right? I think humans, we do a lot of really good things and we are really good at some things, but it just seems as we get older, it seems like we just can't drive.
I don't think we ever could drive.
Maybe we could never.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I
try
think
to make it safer.
It's the best way to make it safe as possible is to take the common denominator out, which is to take out the human element, like you said. And I agree. I think we gotta go to a robotic system because robots can talk to each other, right? If people think about it, humans don't talk to each other. I can't talk to the person in front of me, but in theory, if it was instead of me and this other human, if it was two robots, they could talk to each other. They would be all on one system, and there would be a form of unity and communication that's actually absent in the current day human-oriented driving. So there's a lot of safety that would be implemented that we just can't even implement right now. It'd be too cost prohibitive to make that a possibility. So
we're working towards it.
Yeah, but it's not. I think it's probably just easier to just take us out of the driver's seat right now and just move towards the robots. Yeah.
A good example is the iRobot, where you you just step in the car and the car gets into a queue of cars that are just moving to their destination.
Exactly.
And it's just very streamlined. It's not random, it's decided, oh, this car is going to get here by this time because it's in this queue. It's, it's just it makes more sense compared to now. We just kind of like estimate it based on traffic, driving conditions, whatever. It's kind of random.
Yep.
But in the future with AI, cars will talk to each other and tell you this is how long it will take. And there's other like fringe benefits of people not needing to own cars because people can just rent their cars out and the car can just pick you up.
Very cool.
And then it gets rid of like what people hate is the, drunk driving. You don't get that anymore. So
exactly.
It's definitely a nice thing to move towards. So I wish more people would just be openly accepting of it and just maybe push for more like, I guess, testing of the technology. That's really what's needed, like to help improve the fail-safe mechanisms so that there's not many issues with the system.
Definitely.
Now, what are things to avoid when driving?
That's a goodie. So according to drive-safely.net, there's an article called 10 Things You Should Never Do While Driving. Here they are. This might surprise some of you. It may not. Text and surf the web. I love the phrase surf the web.
Surf, wow.
This is definitely
surf's up, dude.
A little bit dated. Love it. Discipline your children. That's a good one. And y'all know.
Interesting.
Y'all know what's up. Why? Because parents, they've shown that in films.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mom's turning around. Shut it up. Stop it. Johnny.
But when children are fighting with each other too, what do? You
sit over there, right? All of that. Getting dressed, right? Let's get the bra and the undies on before getting in the vehicle.
All right.
That also could be, I don't like the phrase, but walk of shame.
Walk of shame.
When people are like, they sleep out and they meet someone and ooh la la, right? And then they're trying to get home the
like
next day. And then they, like getting their underwear on or, all of that stuff. Applying makeup and shaving. Shaving I thought was fascinating.
Wow. You want to get hairs all over your car? That just seems unsanitary though. It
does. This is another one. Eating a taco, ice cream cone, or other certain foods.
The ice cream you can get away with if you don't have too many toppings.
Watch Dawson's Creek. How did he die?
If you don't have too many toppings on it, though. And then if it falls, let it fall. That's it. It's a done deal.
Exactly.
No, if it falls, it falls. The taco is pretty bad.
But I've had that too. I bought ice cream and it fell over and I had to like pull over and make sure it was right. But I wouldn't drive and do that at the same time. That's crazy.
The taco's a bad one because you usually have a sauce on it.
Exactly.
And you crunch into it and there it goes. It's all over you.
There you go.
Like, wow.
Exactly. Leaning over to reach for something.
I do that all the time, to be honest.
I know. It's a bad one. Falling asleep. Ugh, it's rough. Drinking alcohol. Now, that's even wilder. Not even like drinking and driving, but to actually have alcohol in the vehicle with you. Wowzers.
Yeah.
This was a good one. Steering with your knees.
I do that too. Yeah, that's good.
Nope.
Because then you have your hands free. You can do like, you can clap your hands when you're happy.
What is this, Planet of the Apes?
The apes don't clap their heads when they're happy. That's like a human talk thing. They clap their feet
when they're happy.
I don't know if that's true either. You're
they
just
do
saying
in Planet of the Apes.
I don't know if that's true. Yeah,
that was the movie. That
yeah,
was
you might be talking about a fictional thing. This is fiction.
Bonobos.
Proboscis. Oh, proboscis. So you made me mess it up.
Don't make me say another phrase.
Don't say that. It's not that. It's proboscis. You say the wrong one.
And then, of course, also having an emotional phone conversation.
Oh, okay, yeah. Some people really get into it, and they just really going out.
Lose their mind. Either an argument or crying fast, all sorts of things. Also, I would also argue, don't have big news. When people call you and they say, are you sitting down? Like, don't say yes if you're driving.
But they are sitting, though.
Yeah, but if they're about to tell you someone died, or they're about to tell you you're, something really dramatic.
So what should they say then? I'm sitting down
just
driving?
Probably don't pick up the phone, right? And just call
I know,
them,
but you have hands free. What if you have hands free though? So then you can pick it up.
Yeah, just say I'm not available for a deep conversation. Is this lighthearted?
Wow, that's like weird to say.
I know, it is weird. So like I said, just ignore the call.
Oh, all right. Wow. So just hang up on your
and probably
calls.
no texting too. I don't know if I said that.
Yeah, they said that. Yeah, texting and surfing the web.
Exactly. And do you have anything to add to it?
I mean, that pretty much caught everything. I think besides emotional phone conversation, I just think overly deep conversation can do it too. Because you can get I think that could lead to an argument, and then having an argument over the phone while you're driving, I don't think that's such a good thing to do. Because then, it leads back to that emotional driving, which is a big problem. So try not to have overly deep conversations. You say not to even answer the phone, but
Yeah.
I say it depends on who you, because it might be something like, hey, oh, you know what? You can't do that, because what if somebody was telling you, oh, the event is canceled. So now you're driving to this event. It's like 2 hours away. You get there and you're like, hey, nobody's here. And they said, you know what? We called you and you never picked up. So that's on you. And we texted you. So that's why I think sometimes I think you should pick up the phone no matter what.
Well, that's why some people
if you have
pull
hands
over,
free,
or they deal with it. Just do it in a way. I think, again, see, this is where we get back to the whole bad habits. It's a bad habit, but it's like, oh, but I can do it safely, right? So
you can. If you're hands free, you can have a conversation. I mean, you can just at least call a person and say, hey, I'm driving. What's up? Now they tell you.
And my response to that is
what?
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, okay. So Hotel Transylvania.
Blah, blah, blah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, guys. Scenario 1. Huey drives a classic hybrid car and always wants to be in the left lane, even if she's slower than all the surrounding traffic. Is she driving correctly since she obeys the speed limit, or should she change her ways?
And stop driving like the elderly in Arizona?
Come on.
Oh, gosh. And you had the nerve to put in classic hybrid. That's hilarious.
Yeah, because everyone knows what the car that is.
Prius?
I didn't name any names. I throw no shade.
Yes, you do,
towards certain cars.
I'm not a mind reader, Khalil, so.
I throw no shade.
That's what you're talking about. Whatever.
All I say is I throw no shade towards any cars.
Muy bueno.
Except for one car.
The Prius.
No, what the heck is it? It's a Pontiac thingy.
Oh.
It was
Pontiac
one of the ugliest.
Fire?
No, it's the ugliest car of all time. I forgot. It might come to me.
Okay.
But that's the only car I throw shade to. No other cars.
All right. Well, so this is an interesting one, right? Legally speaking, if she's driving the speed limit and she's in the left lane, the problem is it's not that she's driving the speed limit, like that. It's the problem is the left lane is the changing lane or the passing lane.
Yep.
So even though, yes, she's driving the speed limit, it's probably more appropriate for her to drive in the middle or the right lane so that people can use the left lane for what it was intended for. But as I've told you, why do people like to drive in the left lane? Because it's the easiest driving. You only have to focus on usually your right hand side, unless you live here in Arizona and the HOV people can pop in and out. So technically the left lane could be actually super dangerous because you have people on your right and people on your left that you have to pay attention to, like every other lane.
Yeah, here it can be different.
She needs to take her Prius and drive in the right lane.
Alright, I remember the name of the car, though. It's Pontiac Aztec. That's the most hideous car of all time. It's in Breaking Bad. So.
It was hideous.
Yeah, they put it in there because they know that's the worst car of all time. It looks terrible. Right. But technically, the Prius is kind of based off it.
You're not looking for any deals from Pontiac.
No, Pontiac also made the Firebird, which is
pretty cool.
Crazy sports cars. I mean, they made some couple of cars that were fast, but they also made one of the ugliest cars of all time.
All right.
And the Prius kind of looks like a Aztecs, sort of. So I'm just putting that out there. I'm not throwing any shade, though.
Answer the question.
So I gotta say, she needs to change her ways because that's the worst thing. Why is she in the left lane? I don't care that she feels safe. She's not safe. She's making it worse for other people trying to get around her. And she's driving other people insane trying to get around her. So just pull out the way, and maybe you need to stop driving if all you're concerned about is being like secured in your driving senses.
You said get off the road.
Yeah, it'd be better. It's time to stop driving. If you can't hang, then just get off. Hang it up. If you can't hang it up. Hang up the keys. Hang up them keys. Yeah, because why are you on the road? You shouldn't be on the road if you can't keep up with traffic.
Listen, shape up or ship out.
Yeah, exactly. She can't keep up with traffic. Just get off the roads. Why are you on the roads?
Get off the road.
Because we have Uber now. We have things for you.
Imagine if you were driving and someone's like, get off the road.
I know. Well, people say other things. It'd be nice if they said that.
I know. Yeah, usually it's the middle finger.
Yeah, it's usually cursing and middle fingers.
Oh, it's Tuesday. Oh, this is nice.
Yeah. That's why I just always give them a friendly smile. That's the best response to that.
Well, in New York, I used to be one of those.
See, come on.
Did we share the true story of when
What?
you were driving?
I think what you did.
I think we did.
No,
one
you
time.
were driving. I wasn't driving.
No, you were driving.
No, I wasn't. You were driving.
No, remember you were driving and I was so enraged. I had road
Are you
rage
sure?
even though I wasn't driving and I was in the
Maybe.
passenger seat and I was like, come on! And there was a biker who literally turned to us and was like, wait!
A cyclist,
Hold on,
yeah.
a cyclist. And I wasn't even driving. That's why I knew I was out of
that was
control.
crazy.
My
You weren't
road
even
rage
driving.
was
Yeah.
out of control.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. one.
Yeah, that because he literally
might have
thought
mentioned it
he,
once. I think he mentioned it
He
before.
thought his life was in danger.
Yeah, he thought he was about to get run over because you were just so enraged.
Screaming like a lunatic. Oh, the good old times in New York. Oh.
Yeah, that was nuts.
I feel bad about it. I think I'll always feel bad because I scared that man. I hope
Yeah,
he's
you did,
okay.
yeah. He was so scared. Yeah. He thought that was it for him. He thought it was it. Scenario 2. Tiffany works a job that requires constant updates using the company's messenger system. Sometimes she even replies by grabbing her phone and tapping away while driving. Is there something she can do to be more safe?
Yeah, she can put on a notification blocker and not use her phone when driving.
Oh, all right. Wow. That was a good answer.
She can just do that, and she can also, depending on what the system is, like for instance, if you use Slack, you can snooze your notifications. You can also put a notification alert for anyone in different Slack channels you're in that like you are not available, that you're busy, so that even if you have messages, it's not going to blow up your phone or you're not going to get bugged out like that. So yeah, she needs to notify the world when she's available. When she's not driving 24 hours a day. So whenever she's driving, she needs to be present and drive, and then she can get back to work. No one should be on call for 24 hours. I mean, that's absurd. You're gonna like not be a human at that point. You might as well just turn into a computer. Like,
So you don't even think she should do voice to text in this situation? Just skip out
I think
on
she
that.
should be more present and stop. She needs to give herself time. It sounds like she's too plugged in. And, careful. That's careful. We have to plug out a little bit and
all
have
right.
some like real life experiences.
All right. I mean, my solution was maybe more drastic, but it was easier. I just say throw her phone out the window.
Smart. The company phone?
Yeah. tell them there was technical difficulties with the phone.
Every time she gets the phone, at a certain point, Khalil, that's not going to work.
Yeah, the phone always
That's not
is
gonna
destroyed
work.
at the end of the
Nah.
day. That's.
What is she, a Tasmanian devil? Like, no.
It's a crazy world we live in.
I feel like that's like like one of those old cartoons where like the Tasmanian devil was chasing things and it's like all of a sudden the phone always explodes. Like, nah.
Wow. Okay. You don't think that's
not
good?
gonna- that's not gonna
It's not a good option to destroy the phone.
Well, if she wants to keep her job, no. If she
right.
wants to lose the job, then maybe.
All right.
That could be her passive
So that's an
aggressive
option
way.
then, I guess.
But they might charge her or dock her pay for all those phones.
Oh crap!
Because you can't.
The doctor.
like,
They shouldn't do that. That has to be in the
you can't
contract.
destroy 12 phones, Khalil.
But she didn't know that she destroyed it. She just was trying to not answer the phone.
And also speak with professional help. Get professional help. Yeah.
Okay, so she can do that then too.
Word. We all can get professional help.
We could. We could. Perhaps.
Indeed.
Scenario 3. Estelle says she is the best driver she knows. She has never been in an accident, but has seen many happen right in front of her face. Is she correct in her thinking, or is something else at play?
So that's that crack.com theory.
I'm not gonna. That website, I can't go for it.
I
I'm
know.
sorry. I can't co-sign on it. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm not signing off on that.
It's amazing, though.
I'm not signing off on it.
It's amazing. And I'm afraid to look at any other articles on that.
Yeah, because you may just be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, that's too crazy. But I think that, again, we talked about this earlier in the episode. Not being in an accident is not the standard for being a good driver. That's the standard for your liability, ratios that's used by your car insurance company. So actuaries might like you.
Yeah, definitely.
But they're not gonna, that doesn't by default say, oh, I've driven for 15 years, I've never been in an accident. That's good. but it doesn't make you a good driver. I think
it doesn't
only
mean
at
you're
that
good.
point, it only would constitute of being a good driver maybe after 50 years. Like if you've driven
Really?
for
50 years accident-free?
Accident-free, I think that's darn
Yeah, but
good,
it depends on
you
how many
know?
miles you've driven too.
And yeah, you
if
have to
wanna
have
get
at
into
least
that.
you have to at least drive at least 20 miles a year, 20,000 miles a year, like.
But what if you've been driving on rural roads where there's nobody there?
And that too. So you have to.
There's
You have to take context into
Yeah, there's
consideration.
definitely- you gotta
But
think
if you're
about
like
it.
an urban city driver and you've been
for
driving
50
for
years,
50
yeah.
years and you've never had an accident
With many miles,
and you
yeah.
do like 25,000 miles a year, like we're talking now. We're talking.
Well, yeah, that seems pretty.
Then you know what you're doing.
Maybe.
But yeah, if you're living out in Booney Land and it's you and 10 other people and your 5 cousins and you never drive near anyone, then I mean, God bless your sweetheart. But
right.
you're probably just a driver. I mean, and also like what are we talking about? Cars, tractors, I mean, you know, it sounds like a funny beginning of a country western song.
Okay. That sounds like a Lil Nas X song to me.
Yeah, here we go.
It does.
Let me call Dolly Parton and see what she says.
No, call Billy Ray Cyrus and get on that remix.
Hey.
Jump on that remix.
No, I have to. If we're calling a Cyrus, I'm calling Miley. That's my girl.
You gotta call Old Daddy for it. Let him take him home.
That doesn't sound quite right, but okay.
Old Daddy?
Yeah, that sounds a little bit different.
Even if he rides them horses?
What's your answer? Get your life together a little bit. Get your life in 2020.
No, your issue is you just don't know the song. That's why. That's your issue. If
Old
you do the
Daddy?
song. I mean, they didn't call him Old Daddy, but that's what Miley probably calls him that. I don't know.
Don't be disrespectful.
She calls him Young Daddy. He's not young.
Do I call my daddy Old Daddy? No one's calling their daddy Old Daddy.
They don't call him that, even though they get to a certain age. It just seems like it's so right. It fits.
What is your answer?
Something else is at play, obviously, because remember, you didn't look at that key point. Many accidents happen right in front of her face. So look, she's causing the accidents. That's the whole thing. Yeah,
Smart.
see?
Cool.
So this is the problem. She's a terrible driver. She avoids the accidents, but she creates them.
Nice.
So that's the issue here. That's what's actually at play. This person creates accidents. She probably needs to hang them up.
Hang it up.
That's what I say.
Yeah, I love
Say?
it. Well, now that we have gone through all of that, it looks like we are at that time again. We're coming to the end of our 124th episode of Woke and Free. Quite the episode discussing why do people drive crazy. Now, will we leave you hanging for what our next episode will be about? Drum roll, please.
On our next episode, we will be discussing, do we need privacy? Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for Woke and Free Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you want to be a guest on the show, please submit a topic for an upcoming episode or share how you feel on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That is WokenFree.com. If you want to hit us up on social media, please find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest at Woke and Free. If you want to promote your business, your book, your new company in 2020 in a whole new way through the podcasting platform that is Woke and Free, definitely hit us up on our Contact Us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for Woke and Free Wednesdays. Remember, Woke and Free is more than a podcast, it is a way of life. Until next time.
Don't drive crazy.
Oh boy.